Hello everyone, Amer back with another Mission Impossible episode review. I'm trying to at least do the video for these reviews as soon as I watch the episode, as soon as possible. This time I'm doing Season 2, Episode 23, which is called The Phoenix. So Jim gets his instructions at a weird lumberyard facility where the instructions are near an open flame, which I guess is kind of a marker for him. That's kind of weird to do at a lumber facility. I wonder whether this is the same location they used in The Killing when they were at the lumber yard with the incinerator. I don't know. The mission, anyway, is to stop Stefan Prohash, who has arranged the theft of an important alloy sample and plans to trade it into an enemy country in exchange for their assistance in gaining power in his country. Usual team this time. During the apartment scene, we see Cinnamon using a special lipstick that apparently sets off squibs, and a discussion of some other gadgets that will be used. Off we go to the art museum where Prohash is in charge to keep him away from the movers and shakers in the government, and the alloy will be found as part of a massive metal sculpture where it's hidden. So we see Cinnamon in the museum as a touch-up artist and Willie as a window washer as the sculpture arrives with the utterly paranoid Prohash supervising its entrance. Cinnamon sets up a squib in a wall, actually a shell, a bullet, and Willie another up in a stained glass window as Rollin sets up a rifle in a room across the street. Cinnamon calls Rollin with a signal, and when Prohash is in the right place, sets off the squibs. Prohash sends his guards to investigate. Cinnamon heads down to the museum basement, breaking her heeled shoe and leaving it on the stairs. Prohash calls the secret police, actually Jim and Barney, demanding that they investigate the attempt on his life immediately. Jim says he'll dispatch some men when he can, frustrating Prohash. The guards find Rollin and the rifle in the room across the street, take him to Prohash's office for interrogation. Rollin responds to Prohash's questions with hatred in his eyes, giving us this gem.
Prohash lives!
Anyway, the sculpture is taken out of its box and placed in a viewing area under guard. Barney, Willie, and Jim arrive as internal security officials, with Prohash suspiciously having them searched and demanding their IDs before allowing him to do anything. He says that since he used to be the country's security chief, he takes no chances, and that's why he's still alive. Prohash lives, of course. Prohash says Rollin is a would-be assassin and joins the three in examining the crime scene because Jim thinks that there's more to it, where they determined that since Prohash couldn't be seen from across the street, there must have been an accomplice inside the museum. Cinnamon's art materials are found in the nearby phone booth where she left them, and Jim orders a full search of the building, given that the premiere is due to arrive soon. The chairman, actually. Jim confronts Rollin about his accomplice, but he says nothing. Barney and Willie head towards the sculptor's room, tell the guards to continue his rounds, and place a device in the ashtray to warn them if anyone is nearby. Then they head inside and start working to try and figure out what part of the sculpture contains the alloy, dressed in what is essentially ninja gear to keep it hidden. Barney finds the alloy using a special detection tool, and the two prepare torches to try and extract it from the sculpture and then weld the steel back on, then paint it over to cover up their work. Cinnamon is eventually found by the guards after jacking up the thermostat in Prohash's office and buying a bunch of time for Barney and Willie to do what needs to be done. Cinnamon is brought to Prohash's office, and she tells Jim that she is Rollin's sister. The three IMF members continue to drag out the process. Prohash sends his assistant to check out why it's so hot, and Jim takes that opportunity to plant a device in his jacket. A guard stops by to admire the sculpture for a bit, forcing Barney and Willie to stop work, hide. Soon afterwards, a cleaning lady empties out the ashtray, negating their warning signal, despite which the two continue working. They have to complete the mission. A conversation is heard outside. Two guards come in to have a look, forcing Willie to hold up part of the heavy structure for quite a while as the guards have a laugh at it. Finally, they're able to complete their work and secure the alloy, leaving a loaded charge inside one of the metal bars. The chairman is due to arrive at 5 p.m. to view the sculpture, and at 4:40, Jim starts to put the pressure on the siblings, who finally admit that they wanted Prohash dead because he massacred the village many years previous. Prohash listens nonchalantly until Rollin lunges at him and has to be restrained. Jim insists on sticking around because the chairman is due to arrive soon and is worried that the siblings might have other accomplices hanging around. Jim leaves Prohash's assistant in the office to watch Rollin and Cinnamon. joins Prohash to greet the chairman. As the chairman and his entourage enter the room, Barney and Willie are there back in their normal garb as security officials. Barney tells Prohash that his assistant needs to speak to him immediately, probably about the would-be assassins. Barney and Willie come to the office and take Rollin and Cinnamon away. Prohash's assistant protests, but there's only him and a guard in the room and 4 IMF agents, so you do the math. The IMF overpower them and head out. With Prohash out of the room, Jim sets off the charge, and when Prohash comes back, the chairman wonders why he disappeared all of a sudden. Jim finds the charge and indicates that it has a remote control to set it off, and it's found in Prohash's coat, sealing his fate despite his protests. Mission accomplished. Okay, I'm going to give this episode overall a grade of B. I had it rated much lower during my first time kind of going through this, thinking it's kind of a meh episode. But actually it is quite entertaining. There's no doubt about that. Alf Jellin, who has also written and directed, I believe, some of the episodes that we've seen, he does a fantastic job as the properly paranoid villain who needs to be discredited by the IMF. He's engaging is an understatement, almost to a mimetic level, as evidenced by fans. Everybody remembers the Prohash lives line. Referring to himself in the third person, much like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Really, really good stuff. The only issue with that, the trade-off of that, is that objectively, despite how entertaining Alf Jellin's performance is, as an antagonist, Prohash is, you have to say it, he's lame. He's easily manipulated by the IMF. They're very, very, very quickly able to exploit his paranoia, and in order to accomplish the mission. So that you have to admit that you can't have one without the other, it seems. The other thing, despite, again, like I said, entertaining episode, I was going to say that, good teamwork, the power of 5, but not really. It's more like a 2 plus 3. By necessity, the mission is such, but really the mission is being accomplished by Barney and Willie. And, of course, what the other 3 are doing is really, really important. They have to run the interference in order to buy time, but it's not quite the same as other missions where everything kind of comes together, and we're working this side, and sometimes even a third side, and it all comes together at the end. I cannot find anything bad about the episode per se. Some of it plods while Barney and Willie are doing their work, but again, that's kind of out of necessity. It's not terrible. It definitely is entertaining, and a lot of that is due to Alf Jellin and his performance. So I'm comfortable giving this a grade of B. You could put it up towards a B plus episode, but again, I'm trying to think of it objectively and saying that entertaining is one thing, but the lameness of the other side. A good example of that would be the Legend from the previous season. That was an unbelievably entertaining episode in every imaginable way. But when you look at it objectively, you have to say that, oh my gosh, Friedrich Rudd from that episode, with the whole "let me be your Führer" thing. It's the same kind of thing here. You can't put this episode quite up in the elite status as you would with some other episodes. Anyway, I'm comfortable with that grade of B. Thank you for watching. Please like this episode and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear your comments. If you think I'm off and you think that this deserves a higher grade, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.